Tonight, could be a brief isolated shower overnight this evening. So we're in the low 80s with that risk for an isolated storm. The complete forecast coming up. Eyewitness News starts right now.
This is Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR.
Tonight's top stories at 6. The Attorney General's office has finally settled a 15-year-old lawsuit over a modular home. Capitol correspondent Emil Taligi has the story. And we'll bring you reactions from SUNY over the Supreme Court decision on student loan forgiveness. Plus, a major drug bust occurred in the village of Herkimer. We'll bring you the details from the Chief of Police. Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for Eyewitness News at 6. I'm Shelby, filling in for Jamie Azulay. The Attorney General's office argues hundreds of cases in lawsuits every year. We hear about them all the time. When they win a settlement, what happens to that money? Our Capitol correspondent, Emil Taligi, got to see firsthand how $1 million from a 15-year-old case is being spent today.
The kitchen you see here was designed by the next owners of this modular home in coordination with builders. This is just one of 6 carbon-neutral homes built through a settlement from the AG's office.
But we're excited. We've been waiting for about 4 or 5 years. There's apparently a lot of steps involved, so.
The home being made possible after a settlement with American Energy, a company who created environmental issues years ago. Brittany Eldred is just one of 4 recipients selected using a lottery system with 2 more spots to fill.
We were able to pick out our cupboards, our countertops, the flooring and stuff like that, and the siding and everything.
Bill Lake Modular Homes is tasked with planning and creating these green homes. The amount of emissions they generate will be equal to what they produce.
We're just really excited. Many of these people spend $400 to $500 a month in the winter with their old inefficient homes in heating costs, and that just literally goes out the roof. So to be able to put that into building equity and building, their generational wealth and having real estate and having a home is just huge, so we're really excited about that.
The homes are also insulated, sealed, and inspected to ensure they're meeting and exceeding state code. When I asked the Attorney General, Letitia James, what she thought after touring these homes.
We need more, that we obviously need to provide more resources to this company and that we need to build these homes quicker.
The AG says that these homes are also more affordable to build and could help with the housing crisis in the state. Reporting in Albany, Emil Taligi.
Big decisions coming out of the Supreme Court this week impacting college campuses. The Supreme Court now blocking President Biden's student loan forgiveness program. This comes on the heels of Thursday's decision ruling race can no longer be taken into consideration when it comes to college admissions. Capitol correspondent Jamie DeLine has the reactions.
Millions of Americans who qualified will not be getting student loan debt relief. The Supreme Court of the United States ruling President Biden and the U.S. Department of Education do not have the authority to cancel them.
So you've got to continue to pay your student loans, whether you thought it was a good idea to relieve you of your student loans or not. The Supreme Court has said any authority to do that must come from the legislature. There must actually be a statute allowing such a thing.
Biden's plan was to cancel at least $10,000 of debt for qualified borrowers. SUNY Chancellor John King, who served as the U.S. Secretary of Education under President Barack Obama, weighs in on the ruling.
It means folks are going to put off having kids, buying a home, starting a business because of often crushing debt that they're experiencing.
So when are payments expected to resume?
Folks will start to see interest accrue on their debt come September, and payments will begin in October. And remember, a third of the borrowers across the country have debt but no degree.
King is encouraging people to finish their education at SUNY to help them in the economy, adding federal rules allow them to defer payment on that debt. While some are against the Supreme Court ruling, others like Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik support it, saying on Twitter, quote, SCOTUS just ruled in favor of our hardworking taxpayers who would have had to carry a tremendous financial burden because of Biden's unconstitutional student loan bailout. The decision comes right after another Supreme Court case ruled race can no longer be taken into consideration during college admissions.
The first ruling was an attack on getting to college or getting to higher education. The second ruling is an attack on what's after.
I'm told if there is a Democratic majority in Congress after the next election, Biden could continue his efforts on student loan forgiveness. Reporting in Albany, I'm Jamie DeLine.
And you know that narcotics continue to be a serious problem and that homemade narcotics have become a major contributing factor. In the Valley, police agencies have been teaming up to lend support and logistics to each other in dealing with the problem. Recently, those efforts paid off with a handful of arrests after raids at 2 locations in Herkimer over the past month. Acting on complaints about suspicious activity on Westlake Ave in Herkimer, Herkimer police launched an investigation into activity going on at 507 Westlake Ave. During that investigation, Herkimer police discovered a connection between the Westlake address and a residence on Steuben Hill Road. In May, a team of Herkimer police, state troopers, Herkimer County sheriffs, along with New York State Parole, went to 936 Steuben Hill Road. There was also a report that a child was present during drug activity. Some people left the home on command, while others would not, resulting in a 2-hour standoff. 3 people were arrested at that location on warrants. And 2 Sundays ago, an early morning execution of a search warrant was done at the Westlake Ave address. Methamphetamine was discovered along with packaging material. 4 more arrests were made at the Westlake home. Herkimer police were aided by Mohawk, Little Falls, and Johnstown police in that raid. More arrests may be coming. Here's what Herkimer Police Chief Mike Jory had to say about the bust.
Right now, it was our highest profile one here. Most of the complaints we were getting was from that area there and the address on Steuben, where they were actually coming in and flopping in numbers. So it's a good start, and as I've said in the press release, that we intend that this is just the beginning. We have a lot of others in the works right now. It just isn't as easy as we'd like it to be, where you get a complaint and you execute a search warrant. There's a lot of work that goes behind that. Unfortunately, I only have 1 investigator here at the police department, and it would help to have another investigator to help put these cases together. But the officers do provide a lot of information to him, and we work with tons of other agencies. We have very good working relationships with them, and that's when it really does help us.
Eyewitness News will keep you updated on further developments. And a Utica man has been arrested in connection with an attempted armed robbery in New Hartford. A week ago, New Hartford police reported that a masked man with a handgun entered the Cliffs Market on Genesee Street in the village, showed the gun, and demanded money. The would-be robber left on foot. So New Hartford police developed a suspect profile and, working with the New York-New Jersey Regional Fugitive Task Force, located the suspect. This morning, 32-year-old Philip DiPerna of Utica was taken into custody. He's charged with attempted robbery in the 2nd degree, a felony, and menacing. He is being held at the Oneida County Jail pending a felony hearing. Plus, Oneida County has a new Public Works Commissioner. County Executive Anthony Picenti made the announcement today. Matthew Baisley took over the position on June 5th. Baisley had been with the county DPW from 2017 to 2021. Most recently, he was manager of mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems at Hamilton College. He replaces Mark Laramie, who retired in April after 33 years with the county. Be sure to get our CNY homepage app to stay up to date on all the latest local news. Before we go to break, here's a preview of your weather with Chief Meteorologist Craig Flint.
Shelby, still looks kind of awful out there, still dealing with that smoke. Plus, we are dealing with an increase in the humidity as well. You'll really notice that as we look ahead to the holiday weekend forecast next.
Your Eyewitness weather forecast.
Hi, good evening to you as we get you ready to go for the holiday weekend. And, you know, when we get into July, climatologically, hottest month of the year, and the humidity is going to start to increase as well. So basically, this is what it should be. And as we look outside, what it should not be is that view right there. It's kind of smoky still with this kind of haze lingering pretty close to the surface, but the good news is this will be relenting as we go into the weekend. So 80 degrees now, the dew point starting to increase. So we were been in the 50s, but we're in the low 60s now, so it's going to become a little bit more noticeable while you're sleeping. There could be an isolated shower, still some hazy sky out there. Low temperatures end up in the mid 60s. Through the day tomorrow, look, it's not a washout, but I think how it works, partly sunny, pretty stable in the morning. Then we get into the afternoon, scattered thunderstorms develop, drenching humidity, so localized downpours. And I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of these thunderstorms cop a little attitude tomorrow with some damaging wind gusts and maybe some hail. Temperatures making it into the low and mid 80s. Right now, Saranac Lake is 76, it's 72 in Inlet, Old Forge at 77, 83 here in town, Remsen at 79, over to Sherburne as well, 78 right now in Hamilton, and down towards Lawrence and Oneonta right now at 80 degrees. Visible. So we've been talking about the smoke here, and it's kind of difficult to see. So these brighter whites that you see, those are actual clouds, but you have to look real close, and you can kind of just see a little bit of filmy, kind of creamy look to the satellite picture here. That's that plume of smoke. So that will be around through the evening. The air quality now at 165. So again, borderline unhealthy to very unhealthy. But here's a look at the simulation and the smoke. Watch it go away as winds go more southerly through the day on Saturday. So that's going to push that smoke plume out. We get into the blue category, which up here on the banner you can see is very light. So we'll see the smoky sky improve. And as we take a look back through the month of June, you could really see how the air quality has behaved. So we had that, you know, around the 4th and 5th, some pretty unhealthy air quality, and then again recently, kind of in between here, 3 weeks worth of data. And it's no wonder, showed you this yesterday, Canada, hundreds of wildfires. This is just a still image courtesy of NASA and the Fire Resources of Canada. You can see the fires here across, you pick the province, there's likely a wildfire. A couple scattered showers around through this evening, that would be about it. The air quality will slowly improve. Otherwise, it's warm, that drenching humidity through the weekend, and I mentioned that chance for a few localized downpours or gusty storms as we get into Saturday afternoon. Pretty tame tonight, pretty tame tomorrow morning. The humidity will go up, and then showers and thunderstorms will be developing and kind of rolling on through here as we get into the afternoon, and pretty much ditto that as we go into Sunday. So 84, a few gusty storms in the afternoon, some soaking storms and showers Sunday in the afternoon again, highs in the mid-70s. Quick snapshot to the 4th of July. There's going to be kind of this diffuse stationary boundary nearby. There could be an isolated thunderstorm, but the good news is the 4th of July is actually looking slightly better now, but it's going to be summery, warm and sticky and icky right through next week. Could be flirting with 90 as we get towards Thursday before a cold front comes through Friday with some more rain and rumbles by then, Shelby.
90, wow. Summer really is here.
It'll be a hot one.
I know. All right, I'd love to talk further, but we have to see what's coming up tonight on News Nation.
Let's do it.
Tonight on News Nation, the Supreme Court shuts down Biden's student loan forgiveness plan, what today's ruling means for millions of Americans, and how it could impact Biden's re-election campaign. Chris is tackling every angle, tonight on Cuomo. Then on Banfield, more experts are coming out with new information on UFOs. Is the government trying to hide them and cover up their claims? That's tonight on Banfield, only on News Nation. To find News Nation, go to joinnn.com.
You're watching Eyewitness News at 6 on WUTR.
As we head into the holiday weekend, the Oneida County Sheriff's Office wants you to remember that only handheld or ground-based sparkling devices are legal. All other fireworks, typically those that are lit from the bottom, explode, and then project in the air, are illegal in New York State. The Sheriff's Office defines sparkling devices as, quote, ground-based or handheld devices that produce a shower of colored sparks and or a colored flame, audible crackling or whistling noise, and smoke. They can be legally sold to people 18 and older in New York from June 1st to July 5th, and again from December 26th to January 2nd. If you need to file a complaint regarding illegal fireworks, please do so via the non-emergency line. That's 315-736-0141. And if you'll be using legal sparkling devices this holiday weekend, please use them with caution. And speaking of the holiday weekend, July 4th is almost here, and more cities are saying no to fireworks. The reason why could depend on where you live. Here's ABC's Andrea Fuji.
In a summer already plagued by some of the worst air pollution the U.S. has ever seen, more cities are pushing for alternatives to 4th of July fireworks celebrations.
This is the most polluted time, so it's becoming worse.
Smoke from the historic Canadian wildfires has now spread into the Midwest and as far as Atlanta. And in the West, a new wildfire in Arizona this week forced more than 1,000 people to evacuate. The Western drought and air pollution concerns have prompted the push to replace an American summer tradition. Instead of July 4th fireworks, Flagstaff, Arizona and Aspen, Colorado are offering laser light shows to reduce the risk of fires. More than 12,000 fires were started by fireworks in 2021, including more than 2,000 structure fires, causing millions of dollars in damage. Also a concern, the metallic particles released into the air, which can have harmful health consequences.
You know, what gives them their color, the blues, the greens, the vibrant reds, are essentially metals like copper. Copper gives you blue, or strontium, which gives you the bright red we see in the fireworks.
Inhaling the smoke can be dangerous, especially for people with asthma or other respiratory issues.
You may experience aggravation of symptoms. Shortness of breath is a common one. Sometimes you have a sort of irritation in your eyes.
Another alternative to fireworks? Drones. Salt Lake City and Boulder, Colorado are among the cities replacing fireworks with drone shows this year.
City leaders say drone shows are cleaner, quieter, and allow for more creativity. But one downside, they can also be a lot more expensive. Andrea Fuji, ABC News, New York.
Still to come on Eyewitness News at 6, Otto the Orange is being inducted into the Mascot Hall of Fame. Sports director Brennan Miller will tell you all about it.
Yeah, check 1, 2, 3. Good evening. I'm Brendan Miller with Eyewitness Sports. We're talking about
Eyewitness Sports right now.
Good evening, I'm Brendan Miller with Eyewitness Sports. Here in Central New York, we're very familiar with Halls of Fame, whether it's the International Boxing Hall of Fame in Canastota or the Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. But one Hall of Fame that may not be in the area got a little CNY kick a few days ago, a kick that may have turned it a little more orange. The Mascot Hall of Fame in Whiting, Indiana announced its class of 2023 just about a week ago, a class that included Syracuse University mascot Otto the Orange. Now, for anyone who's attended a Syracuse University sporting event, you know that Otto is one of the best in the business, and that was reinforced by the over 19,000 ballots from 67 countries that were submitted by alumni and fans in support of the anthropomorphic orange. There were 18 mascots nominated for the induction in the 2023 class, including the Boston Red Sox, Wally the Green Monster, the Jacksonville Jaguars, Jackson DeVille, and the Duke Blue Devil. But only two earned the honor of induction, Otto and Slugger of minor league baseball's Portland Sea Dogs. The Hall of Fame was established in 2005 and in that time has inducted 30 mascots, including the 2023 class, of which Otto will be just the 10th collegiate mascot and the first from the Atlantic Coast Conference. The induction ceremony will take place on August 12th at the Hall of Fame in Whiting, Indiana. Heading to hockey now, today was the NHL's deadline to tender qualifying offers to restricted free agents. And for the New Jersey Devils, there were 5 players who saw time with the Comets last season who were restricted free agents, meaning that if they weren't tendered a qualifying offer today, they became unrestricted free agents available to sign with any team in the National Hockey League on July 1st. That list of players included Kevin Ball, Arnie Talvidi, Jeremy Grollo, Zach Hayes, and Zachary Iman. The QA deadline passed at 5 o'clock, and the only player of those listed who received a qualifying offer was Ball. That's not really a surprise, especially for Talvidi, who has already returned to play in his native Finland. But now all those players will hit the open market and look for new teams. Timur Ibragimov was also non-tendered, but has already signed a 1-year AHL contract with the Comets. And at the NHL level, Nathan Bastian, Michael McLeod, and Jesper Bokvist were also non-tendered by the Devils. For now, that's all for sports. Check out CNYHomepage.com for your top sports stories. We'll close out the broadcast after the break.
Tonight, moving forward after the Supreme Court's decision on affirmative action.
We cannot let the decision be a permanent setback for the country.
The fallout. More Americans turn to the most watched program on television. World News Tonight with David Muir.
The tale of the tape for the weekend is twofold. The air quality improves, but storms are ahead, mainly in the afternoon. Some could be gusty Saturday, downpours again in the afternoon, drenching humidity right through the weekend and even into early next week. Now, the good news here is for the 4th, other than an isolated thunderstorm, I think it's actually looking pretty good and then getting hot.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Craig. Thanks, Brennan. And thank you for tuning in tonight. That's all for Eyewitness News at 6. ABC World News Tonight is next. We'll see you back here again next week.